Oh my goodness.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 8th webinar, membership webinar. I'm Lloyd Campbell, and I'll be the host of this. And let's just get started here. And let me introduce you to our team. These are the groups of folks that's been involved in making membership a high priority here in our zone. But here are the panelists that's going to give us some valuable information about how to increase retention with club workshops. Of course, we have Sarah Diller, we have Holly and Christy and Joe. They are part of our Rotary family here. And this is our team here. And our fearless leader, Alex Johnson, you will not see him. He's in the background, but he's here. So let's get started with Sarah. Sarah, bring us up to date about workshops and things we can do to retain our members.
Yes, Lloyd, if you let me share my screen, I do, of course, have a little PowerPoint for us.
Let me stop share here.
Okay.
And
all right.
Can you share your screen now?
It looks like I can.
Okay.
Okay. So hello, everyone. Thank you all for having me again. And I hope that you are not sick of hearing from me once more. My name is Sarah Diller Edom. I'm the Regional Membership Development Officer at Rotary International. I know we have an amazing lineup of panelists today to talk about club workshops, but before we get into the good stuff, we're going to talk about a little bit of data, best practices, and resources. So you've heard me say it before, and you'll hear me say it again, but everything points back to the club experience. The most significant thing we learned from the 2022 all-member survey is that the club experience is the most important factor in member satisfaction. And when members talk about a positive club experience, they mention 5 things. Whether they have confidence in the leaders and the focus of the club, including if they believe they have input on the club's direction and the leaders are open to feedback, how much they enjoy meetings, including whether they're having fun and feel like they belong, that service opportunities are meaningful and make a difference, that they're comfortable with other members, whether they've developed valuable relationships with others through Rotary. And we know that when members don't find their experiences to be personally or professionally relevant, they go elsewhere. So thinking about retention and keeping our members happy, let's consider these 5 factors and what we can do. This is going to start with understanding why members chose Rotary and Rotaract over other opportunities that compete for their time and skills. And we need to know what they expect from us. When we ask what a member wants and then try to meet their expectations, we show that we care. As leaders, we want to make it a priority to create an environment that adds value to your members' lives. You can instill confidence in your members by being open to feedback, resolving conflicts as they arise, streamlining your club operations so there's time for other activities, being transparent about how decisions are being made, involving members in developing goals and ideas for your club, mentoring future leaders, and creating an experience that reflects member interests and needs. Practicing inclusive leadership will help members feel more involved and connected to the club, and ultimately, connected members will stay in their clubs. Improving club meetings. And this can start with managing time effectively. Meetings begin and end promptly, clear agendas are sent in advance, speakers are engaging, and members have more opportunities to learn. And then you can find ways to collaborate with new groups, and this will make your club more appealing, encourage a diverse membership, and expand your capacity for service. We all want a stronger and more effective Rotary. We want to be more adept at using partnerships, digital tools, and new ideas to bring people together. And more diverse voices among our members and leaders will help Rotary stay relevant in a changing world. Our ability to adapt is the key to strengthening our future. The opportunity to make a meaningful difference in their communities is one of the reasons we know people join and stay with Rotary and Rotaract. Well-planned projects are more likely to have positive and sustainable results. Every community has its own strengths and concerns, so the best approach is to work closely with people from various groups that have an interest in the outcome. Everyone who interacts with Rotary should be treated with dignity and respect, allowing everyone to offer feedback and providing equitable opportunities for friendship, service, and leadership. These principles of inclusion are so important because we know that when members feel like their unique contributions and perspectives are welcomed and appreciated, they're more likely to feel comfortable in their club. And finally, prioritizing time for members to connect. This final aspect of the club experience is making sure that members have opportunities to form meaningful personal connections. And this could mean scheduling more informal opportunities to socialize either before or after meetings or during other events, celebrating people's personal and professional achievements, organizing activities so they complement rather than compete with family and work schedules, introducing members to opportunities beyond the club, such as becoming a district leader or joining a Rotary Action Group or Rotary Fellowship, and introducing members to programs that connect them to new people and opportunities, such as sponsoring an Interact Club, organizing a RILA event, creating a scholarship, or starting a youth friendship or vocational exchange. And of course, I want to highlight a few resources that can assist you with your retention. First, my favorite, membership assessment tools. There is a retention assessment that will help you learn why members leave your club and can help you build strategies for engaging your members. The second is designing your Rotary experience, and this can help members get involved in Rotary from leadership positions to joining Rotary fellowships. This resource can help members figure out what they want their Rotary experience to look like. And then finally, best practices for engaging members, which is a course available on the Learning Center and can help you develop strategies for engaging people at any level of their membership. And these resources are all available to you at rotary.org/membership. And please do not hesitate to reach out to me with any questions about retention or other membership topics that you might have. And with that, thank you very much for having me, and I will turn it back over to Lloyd.
Sarah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that information. It focuses on how important the club experience is in retaining members. One of the things that we've always noted is that we have no problems getting members to join our organization. The problem becomes we become a revolving door. They don't stay around. So it's very important we take steps to make sure that they do stay. So our next host on the panelists, guest on the panelists will be Christy and Holly, and let's them have an opportunity to talk about what they've been doing as far as workshops to retain their members. Christy.
Thank you. Happy to be here. For those of you who might have listened on early, Holly and I have a very informal type of presentation, and that's just kind of how we roll. So we're titling our presentation, Shut the Back Door. We want people to come in and stay in Rotary. So what are the ways that we can do that? And I think part of this has to do with the size of your club. I think that larger clubs, I think, have more problems getting people really engaged just because they're big. And new people walk in, they don't immediately get engaged or involved in something. And all of a sudden, before you know it, within that first to second year, they are headed out the door. They found something else. I know we see that in my club. I hate it, but I don't think any of us have that magic 8-ball that's going to keep them with us. I do know this, and this actually goes back to some things that Sarah was saying. She talked about using surveys when people leave. that's a great time to use a survey to get additional information, but you didn't catch them before they left. So I'm going to let Holly talk just really quickly about some ideas that we have been blowing around in our district to try and help with the, what do we do initially to find out what they like to do and how they stay engaged?
So,
Holly.
thank you for that introduction, Christy. I really appreciate it. I am very new to this DMC role and very new to district leadership role. And I think one thing anybody that is a leader needs to kind of get out of their head is the word my, and my club, my this, my that. Just throw my out the window and think as a collective. And one thing I did when I was at Zone, Alex was up talking and I was daydreaming as usual. And I had this idea come to my head that, let's send out a survey to all of our brand new members and ask super simple questions. And the questions are, why did you join Rotary? What is your favorite charity? What's going to keep you involved? And I'm working on the other two, but we're going to keep it at 5. I'm making this template and I'm giving them out to all of my president-elect nominees, or all of the president-elects and at PEX here in next weekend. And so I'm going to say, here's your template. Either you use it or give it to your membership committee chair. Send it out to your new members, because you get to know your new members before you really get to know your new members, and you can engage them and you know what pulls them in and what's going to keep them there. So there could be a lot of touchy-feely people that needs the love and they have to be shown the love, and you may not know that. And then you could have some people who don't want to be shown the love, and you're going to run them away if you show them the love too quick. So that's why I think it'd be great to do this. I'm going to create this Google Doc template. I will be happy to share it with anybody here, because we all want to grow Rotary. It's not just one club. It's not just one district. However, if I do terrible today, I'm with District 5810 for all of those asking. But if you like what we say here, we're with District 5840 in the San Antonio area, South Central area. But anyway, let me know. Reach out to me. I'll be happy to share anything with all of you guys. So what else do we have about our shut the back door theory?
Well, I think the second thing, and we both talked about this, we've been talking about it all year, is we say we're assigning mentors or we're getting mentors for these people. And again, all the stats say it's within the first 1 to 2 years that we start losing people. So what does that say about us getting them engaged and getting them really hooked up personally? I know one of the things that we may take for granted is that the person who sponsors that person into Rotary is going to take them around and get them engaged, maybe even sit on a committee with them so that they really get engaged early on in their Rotary time. So that mentoring, we talk about it all the time, but it's so important if we're, again, going to take that person and make sure that they have joined and that they are active, because if they aren't, then we're going to lose them. We talked about, you recruit a good membership chair, but it shouldn't just be the chair. It should be a committee. Now, this can be more of a challenge if you've only got 15 people in your club, because everybody's maybe wearing more than one hat. But if you've got a club that has that, recruit a team to support that chair. And that's where you talk about maybe that retention committee. Some members whose job it is just to communicate and talk to people. I know that in several clubs, if someone misses 3 meetings in a row, they get a call from someone, not to chastise them, definitely not to chastise them, but to say, hey, we miss you. Come on back. And if they say, well, I've been sick the last couple of weeks. Okay, well, just was checking on you, want to see what you're doing, and looking forward to seeing you this next week. We really miss you. That's that personal touch. And I will tell you, people always say, well, I emailed them. Emailing is not the same as a personal phone call.
Nobody emails anymore. Ask Lloyd. I didn't get him an email until a couple of days before this meeting. Nobody emails, and I consider myself younger. Keep that in
Well,
mind. People hate email.
and I know a lot of people who don't really read their emails anymore. Maybe they read their texts, but even text, that personal phone call, that personal touch, I think is going to be much more effective. We talked about getting your membership chairs trained. You know, those classes up on the Learning Center are so good. And if we can get not only them to take all the ones under club membership, but get your retention sub chair to take the retention one, get your recruitment sub chair to take the recruitment one. I know we're trying to figure out how to re-engage alumni. Yes, we've lost them, but I don't, why can't we get them back? Rotary's
Right.
changed. If they left us 5 years ago, um, why can't we get them back and tell them there's no hard and fast membership requirement? Remind them that they can get makeups for if they want to make up and if they even care for service projects or for sitting on a committee, all of those things. I mean, I have a couple folks that I know of that they want to be perfect attendance people. Not
I
everybody
would
wants that.
think so
But,
too.
the fact that we don't ask for that anymore is really, really important. Um, and last, I'm going to say, what are you doing to use, especially in districts, to keep your members, your club membership chairs engaged in some sort of learning, sharing via web conferences, Zoom meetings, those kinds of things? It's great. We can host something in the inner city. That's great. We can catch a lot of club membership chairs that way. But if you're really looking at how to get those ones in the outlying areas, they don't want to drive 2 hours to go to a 1.5 hour meeting and then drive 2 hours home. So let's figure out how to get them comfortable with Zoom and WebExes. Holly, I'm sending it back to you. Go
So the
for it.
only thing I'm going to follow up on is that personal touch. I'm in sales. You find out that person's sick. Oh my gosh, I'm going to mail you a get well card because I love getting mail that's not bills. And so send them a get well card. Send them up. You could find out something about them that's going on in their life and they really need the Rotary family around them and you don't know. Check in on them. Give them a phone call. They love it. We don't read our emails anymore. Ask Alex. I delete all his emails that come through. Come on, let's be honest. So I also want to piggyback off you. We need to talk to our membership chairs. Also get them off of a my club, my club, my club mentality and get them more on a, okay, you know what? You're not a good fit for our club. It's not working out for you at the time. Maybe there's a friction with another member. You know what? My really good friend goes to another club that I think might be perfect for you. So let's really focus on, hey, you're not happy where you're at. Let's get you hooked up with another membership chair in another club. Let's keep you a Rotarian because you have a Rotarian heart. You're my friend, and I don't care what club you're in. We're all family. Lastly, we really train our presidents. And don't get me wrong, our presidents need all the help in the world. My God, I'm a president right now. I'm about to go and train the future presidents. I don't know who checked off on that, but I am. However, membership chairs need to have the same thing. And so what we tried last year is a membership chair in the district speed dating event. We all met and you got to get these chairs to talk because you got to get them to steal each other's ideas. Don't reinvent the wheel. Do what someone else's club is doing, but you got to get them to talk. So you know what? We forced speed dating upon each other. So they had 3 minutes. We got to go around and we got to date each other and find out what's working in your club, what's not working in your club. And that was, but again, that's great for the inner city area. You got to marry that in your district to keep your rural areas engaged. Marry that with a Zoom workshop. You got to always think you do an in-person event, marry it for your rural areas, get them involved. I think that's all I could think about. It, like I said, anybody, if they want to reach out to me, reach out to me. Don't email me though. Clearly, I guess I kind of made that a fact. But reach out
Well,
to me. I'd be happy to tell you anything.
well, and I think I'm looking at some of the questions, Holly, and I think what we'll do is we'll share that
I'm scared to see
that
the questions.
participant survey with Lloyd and with Alex, and they can get that out perhaps to everybody who is on this Zoom
Absolutely.
call.
Absolutely.
And then how do you communicate with people if you don't use email? Call them.
Call
Call them.
them.
If
Pick up the phone.
if they've got to work, where they work, go visit them. That's a great
It's
idea.
so
Go
signal.
person to person.
Christy, if I might just interrupt here, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I want to
Someone
be
said,
able
don't forget. So I was trying not to forget.
Yeah. So we want to make sure we get to Joe and
We all know
the whole
Joe.
crew to talk about some
We do.
of the questions that's popped up. Thank you very much. You
Okay.
mentioned some very powerful things, especially the survey, the importance of having a mentor, that personal touch. All those things are very important when we try to develop a club environment that's right for the person that's there. Because if that club environment is not perfect, they're hitting the door. So thank you very much, but stick around because there are a bunch of Q&As there for you.
Lloyd, before we move to Joe, if I could
Okay.
ask Christy, Holly, and Sarah to answer as many of the questions by type answer and type it in. So they could do that while everything else is going on.
That is fantastic. That would save us a lot of time. Thank you very much. So the next person I want to introduce is Joe. Joe is one of the founding members of the Minnesota Pride Club. And if you ever have an opportunity to visit this club, they're engaging, they're a lot of fun. And one of the things that they focus on is inclusion. So I'm not going to give away your whole spiel here, Joe. So why don't you just take it away?
Thank you, Lloyd. So I want to start out by just kind of telling a little bit of the backstory of the creation of my club so that everybody can kind of be on the same page there of kind of where we started and how we got to where we are. So I am the co-founder. I was the founding vice president, and I am the current president of the third LGBTQ plus allies Rotary Club in the nation and fifth in the world. So when we all got together to start Minnesota Pride, it was two very different people, right? So I was brand new to Rotary. I'm a finance guy. And then the president was Leif, who was the president of another one of the clubs in town. He had been two-time president. So it really was kind of this, how is it being done and how do we want to do it going forward type of a mentality. So we started off with a big launch event at one of the local hotels. We got the ballroom and we had this incredible launch event that really said, this is Rotary, this is who we are. And as we were really going about it, we started looking at the different aspects of a club meetings. So one of the things that we decided right up front was that we weren't going to have an invocation. We were going to call it a toast. So that's one of those initial examples of what we did. So after the first meeting, we got the next meeting. What we did is we had what we called a working meeting. Is when we sat everybody down and we really said, all right, what type of a club do we actually want to have? And we started talking about what philanthropic endeavors we wanted. As we look at the LGBTQ community, when you really think of the four-way test of Rotary, we have to be all inclusive of everybody. So how do we want to focus on one area and really include everybody at the same time? So out of that working meeting, what really came out is that we had youth homelessness was one of the big things. Mental health was another one, but we always wanted to have an LGBTQ tie. And I say that youth homelessness because I want to give that as an example. 10% of all kids now today, youth, identify as being queer, which encompasses everybody of LGBTQ alphabet soup. So 10% of all youth identify as being queer. However, 40% of the homeless population identify as being LGBTQ. So that was when I say we really wanted to look at how can we have this wonderful impact within a marginalized community. That was one of the big things there. So really, when we start talking about what we're going to do going forward from that point, a lot of it really revolved around youth homelessness. So for some of our examples of what really binds our club together is our service activities. We've furnished 9 apartments for homeless youth. We're currently buying sleeping bags for the homeless, because that is what they identify as being their shelter. We are feeding the homeless. We are buying holiday gifts for youth that are homeless at the holidays. We are doing graduation backpacks for 100 different kids for that. And that really, the philanthropic endeavors is what really binds us all together. So when we really start talking about membership, it really becomes, how do we all get together? So moving forward, we quickly realized that a hotel environment was not for us. So we decided to move it to a local restaurant that mainly does breakfast and lunches during the week. And it's a more farm to table, organic type of a restaurant. We also wanted, for when you think about the finances of the club, we wanted to make it really, really easy. So what we decided was everybody at the meeting was going to come in with $20, and that was going to be the room fee. As the president, it's quite fantastic because I give them however many people are going to be there that week. Let's call it 20, 30 people, whatever the number is. And the chef gets to make whatever type of organic chef's choice gourmet appetizers for everybody. So when we think about the club meeting times for us, what we do is it's the second and fourth Wednesday of the month. People start arriving at 5:30. The meeting goes from 6 to 7. It ends sharply at 7. And then people pretty much leave by 7:30. So that's really kind of how that really works on that side of that. Kind of a timeline for our club. We started talking about the Pride Rotary of July of 21. In August of 21, we had our launch event. By March of 22, we had our founding 20 to charter the club. And we're currently probably around, I'm going to make it up, probably around 46 people currently. When you come to a club meeting, I want to talk about that aspect of it too. We really have decided, and one of the things that I pushed this year as president is being a chosen family. So kind of the definition of chosen family, you have your family of origin, which is your blood relations. And then you have the people that you just decide are your family. So whenever a new person comes into the club, somebody on what I'm going to call the executive committee greets them at the door. Your first meeting is always free. That's paid for by the club. But everybody is there to get a hug and just say, welcome. We're so glad you're here. And it's not really, we talk about being a chosen family. We really are a chosen family. This year for the holiday party, I think it was like 45 people came over to my house at the beginning of December. And we just packed it out, and the house was full of laughter and love. And it was really, really kind of that magical part of what is Rotary. So when you really talk about the meetings, sorry, I'm jumping. I'm getting ideas, so I'm trying to keep everything condensed here. The other thing about having the time be in the evening is it's kind of like a happy hour club. So people are there having wine or beer, and it's just really, everybody's included, everybody's there. The other thing that I really want to talk about is we're LGBTQ, so the queer people plus allies. And it becomes from like a diversity, equity, and inclusion standpoint. Everybody feels like they are included. And it's a place that all are welcome. The only thing that is not welcome there is bigotry and prejudice. everybody else, we welcome you with open arms. So really, when it comes down to our membership, it really is, we want to have something that unites the club, which is homeless youth, it's mental health, emotional health, LGBTQ community. We wanted to have it be fun. We wanted it to be engaging, where people wanted to come. Our speakers are anybody from a nonprofit to, we actually just had a speaker that started talking about different things within HR and different ways within HR and diversity, equity, and inclusion side of HR. It's really something that really spans everything. So if, you know what, one week the speaker isn't your jam, the next one will. What more do you want me to say, Lloyd? Ask questions.
No, Joe, I think you covered it all. I think this is the perfect time to bring Holly and Christy back, and Sarah, to maybe answer some of the questions that popped up in Q&A, in the questions that's left.
I answered some. I am very open. I mean, you can Google me and you can find all my information. I'm just that trusting. But you guys, I put my cell phone out there in chat, and I've already had a couple people reach out. So hit me up on that. By the way, Joe, I want to come and be a member of your club.
I would love that.
Yes. Wait, where are you again, Joe?
We are in Minneapolis.
Oh gosh, no, that's too cold. Get out of here.
You know what? When you come for the 2029 International Convention, you tell me that we're having a happy hour at the house, and everybody's welcome.
Done. I'm there. Okay, cool. If anybody, I mean, I'm looking at Kathleen's comment right now. Here's, oh my God. Well, I'm up at like 4:40 a.m. every morning to answer that most recent question about the 7 a.m. So that's going to be a very specific niche market. I think that we have a question about what time of day seems to work best for club meetings. You struggle to get new members with meeting at 7 a.m. That's going to be a very specific niche for 7 a.m. You're looking at more maybe retired people. You're looking at more realtors, because realtors like to get up early, kind of. My dad used to say I hold banking hours, you know, back before I was a mom. You're looking at, I would just kind of get your chamber, your closest chamber, and maybe grab a retired list from there, or maybe grab a list of self-employed business owners. To 7 a.m. might work for them. Hit the pavement, go to all of the businesses that are around you, and invite them to breakfast, to coffee.
Well, I think the other thing, Holly, is if a certain time of day doesn't work, what an opportunity for starting a new club with a time of day that does work.
Well, actually,
you know?
let me add to that, Christy. There's actually a club in 5870. Debbie Tam, one of our innovative club advocates, her club meets in the morning, and she is going to start a service companion club, which is a satellite club of her club, for in the afternoon, or actually after hours. So they're a morning club, a big morning club. They have a lot of people that just can't meet in the morning. So they're going to start a service companion club so they capture that market. So like Christy said, it's starting a new club, but it's a club that's part of your club. So it's not like you're trying to split apart or anything. It's a companion with your club, a satellite club. So talk to your district membership chair in your district. I don't know where Kathleen,
I skipped Kathleen's question about dues. Oh, I answered his question already. My bad.
So whoever asked about the morning club, go to your district membership chair and ask them about a service companion club, and my team will help them and help you get it done.
Christy's really good at that.
Well, and the thing about a service companion club, they are still welcome at your club meetings. And I think, you're not splitting your club necessarily apart. You're finding ways for people to be engaged in Rotary. And I think that's what we all want. So a lot of service companion clubs don't have a quote unquote meeting requirement. They may have socials, but mainly what they are engaged in is service. So you have to figure out a way to record their service hours and give them a goal. We have a goal that you come to 50% of our meetings. We meet every week. So what is that equal? Well, that equals 2 hours of service per month doing something in a project. Now, you may have 1 month where they do 4 hours and another month when they do no hours, but ultimately there's an average, and so that they don't feel like, well, I just don't have to come to meetings at all. Well, no, you don't, but you need to do service. That's what we're putting on you.
So-
I love this conversation, and I do think it's worth, within each community, taking a community assessment, because in some instances, a service companion club is a good option, but some people might be looking for more. They might be looking for a more traditional experience or an experience where they're really having more fellowship opportunities. And so those are instances where we want to kind of take a community assessment, look at what times might be working for people in that community. And you can have a 7 a.m. club and a 7 p.m. club.
True.
But it's really such a community to community based thing that we need to take a look at.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to make one comment. That's why surveys are so powerful, because they will give you the information that you need so that you can be flexible enough to address those needs and start a new club. Joe, I'm sorry I cut you off.
I was going to say, I think it's important that we also are able to verbalize what our clubs are. So like in the Minneapolis area, our metro area, I'm going to make it up. There's 60 clubs between the two districts in the Twin Cities. So what makes your club special, and why would people want to go there, and how would they get engaged? Because if people don't understand the branding of your club, it's going to make it difficult.
I'm gonna tell you one thing to put your club out there. Do service projects. Do service projects, and every service project you do, you wear your shirt, you wear a Rotary shirt, you got it. Like, that's how you're gonna. But when you do service projects and fundraisers and you get volunteer information, what are you doing with that volunteer information that are non-Rotarians? Because that's gold. That's high hang. That's fruit that you need. I will address Kathleen's. I'm very blunt, I'm very honest, and I'm very to the point. And Kathleen, I'm gonna tell you something. And how many people do we have on here? 107. Remember, I'm from 5810. We just did this. We just upped our dues to $400, and we had a lot of pushback. Here's the thing. Rotary is a very high quality program. You want high quality members. Yes, we want to increase our membership, but we want high quality members. People are going to complain no matter what. You can't do anything about the cost. Those people are going to pay whatever it takes to still be a part of Rotary. And those people who don't like it, maybe I don't know how else to put it. But
Holly, if I can pop in for a second, I think the question is, why are people not finding value in the money they're spending for their Rotary experience? We can always look at, there are certain club flexibility types and satellite clubs where we can really take a look at lowering dues. But if people aren't finding value in their membership, then they're not going to want to pay those dues. And so when we kind of talk about that conversation, we want to ask the question, what's missing? What's not making it worth those dues, that they're wanting to find other opportunities?
That's why a survey is so important. And that's why you shouldn't wait until the very end to survey your people. Find out then if you know that your people love to happy hour and love to have socials, make socials happen. I was at a social and this one lady was like, I don't really like to drink. Can we get together and not drink? And I'm like, what? I'm just kidding. I really didn't. But I'm like, you know what? You know what? That's great. Do you want to do like she wanted to go to a play. She wanted to get people together to go to a play. That's a social. I never knew that about that because she always came to our happy hours. And I never knew until, you sit down and you talk to them and you find out that they want to do a social that doesn't involve actual happy hours, that there are other options to do, but you've got to know your club members and you've got to know why your club member joined Rotary, and you've got to find their heart and their passion and keep them interested in your group. And then that's how you justify paying those fees.
Holly, Sarah, and Joe, and Christy, you're all talking about the club experience. And that is so important. It's important that you know what your club is looking for and make sure you provide it, because when you don't, that's when they start looking for that back door.
Yeah, we keep it
That's
shut.
right.
We're
Yeah.
not raised in a barn.
Okay.
Hey, Holly, there's a question specifically for you.
Oh,
Please tell me
man.
more about your district rescue teams.
Oh, I hate this question and I hate answering it, especially if Alex can listen, because then he knows I actually paid attention during zone.
I'll mute my ears so I won't
Thank
hear.
you. All right, Chuck, I'm really excited about it. And also your counterpart, I don't know if he's really your counterpart, but Todd kind of followed up too, and they use it. There was a gentleman who brought up, I do not know what their district was. I don't really remember what we were talking about. Sorry, Alex. But what perked my ears was how they have a group of maybe 2 or 3 members that they send out to struggling clubs, and they call it a rescue team. Chrissy and I loved that idea. We both wrote it down. We are kind of going to take a spin on it. I don't know if we're actually going to call it a rescue crew, but what we really want to do as a district this year is really focus on not being a, hey, we're district, y'all are the clubs, and we're telling y'all what to do. We want to bring it, we're district, y'all are our clubs. What can we do for you to help you? Here's the kicker. When you reach your rural clubs, your outlying clubs, make sure to have, and this person used past district governors only, and I don't think you necessarily need to do that. You just need to have 2 really good people in your district get together, but when you reach your rural clubs, make sure that one of those people is from a rural club, so they talk the language of these rural clubs when you send them out there and reach out to them. And so basically it's just 2 or 3 people reaching out to all these clubs and saying, hey man, we're from district, you're a smaller club. Do you want to grow? Do you even want to, like, that's the question. Do you want to grow? And if they say yes, and say, what can we do to help you? What can we do? So it's just reaching out. It's reaching out from the district level to each club, and sending, if they say, yes, we want help, then say, okay, we got a group of like 2 or 3 people. Do you want us to come to a meeting? Do you want us to come to a board meeting? Do you want us to Zoom in? How can we meet? But we got to get face to face. That's our rescue teams. So did I kind of touch on that, Christy? Is that?
Oh, Lloyd, do you want, we had a real quick, one of our things that we talked about was, and this is the second year we've done it, is we've tried to do some sort of challenge or game, if you will, because people like incentives, they do. So we threw it out there to the clubs of some steps maybe that they could take this year to help with their membership. That's really all it is about. And we put some rewards in it. We said, okay, if your club does all these 5 things, you can get a Russell Hampton gift certificate. If your club does these things, you can do this. Sometimes I think clubs need a little, okay, we're not going to let that other club do it. We're going to do it too. And I think that overall can build Rotary, which is really what we're talking about. I'm just going to say that is available if you want to look at it up on the District 5840 website. Anybody can go on that website. It's Rotary District 5840.
I just shared it.
Oh, well, thank you. I was going to share it, but there you go.
Let me interrupt you, Christy, just to let everybody know We
Yeah.
want and beg and plead every district to have a membership Olympics. And if you have one, they succeed. The districts that had membership Olympics last year, like 5840 and 5630, were the only districts that had a gain in members, and each club can compete in it. So I just popped up the 5840 membership Olympics. I encourage you to contact your district membership chair. They're fully aware of it, and encourage them to reward clubs to do the easy, simple steps that can make you a really strong club.
And just
There
to
you go.
pick back a little bit of what Alex said, here in 5860, that particular district, they are just starting the membership Olympics. They took half the year planning and working through the process, and just talking about the membership Olympics and getting people excited about it. They're now one of the highest gaining club districts in our area. The membership Olympics is so important, and it's so easy to do too. So please follow up with that. That is one of the tools that has been successful in the past, has been successful now, and we need to really focus on that. Any other questions we can answer? We're getting close to our end time. Joe, you had your hand up.
I want to bring up something else that my club does. When you think of membership, there's your membership engagement, but there's also how are you going to bring new members into the club, and what type of events do you want to do on that side of things? So what we do for our fundraiser is we do a drag brunch, and it benefits homeless youth. It's absolutely fabulous. The third year we grossed $32,000.
Amazing.
So it's one of those things, especially for our community. We get out there and we're able to do something fun. Everybody, I mean, this year we're having it at the Granada Theater. There's going to be a runway. I'm going to be walking up and down a runway talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to talk about marginalization of others and how do we push the human race forward, and kindness and love and compassion and all of that as we make our community and the world better. It's pretty fun. And so when you think about the people where you're going to get your membership, my members are going to bring their friends that are on the cusp of becoming members. And then all of a sudden, that's how you have it. And it's something that both my members enjoy and the community enjoys, and it works.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Do we have any other questions or comments?
Joe, I love that. And here's the thing, you can tell that you're passionate about Rotary. And I'll never forget this one guy. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Alex, you would know him, but anyway, all he does is talk about Rotary. Like everybody knows he's a Rotarian. It's not a secret. And guys, we got to remember that Rotary is not a secret. It's not a secret. You got to shout it from the mountaintops. I'm a Rotarian. I love being a Rotarian. This is what being a Rotarian is. This is what we do. This is the kind of amazing changes that we can participate in, and find that one thing, whether it be the foundation or a specific project that you're passionate in, and let that burn for everybody to see. I send my child, I don't know if you guys saw him sitting on my lap, he's crazy psycho, he's just like his mama. I send him to daycare in his future Rotarian shirt, because you guys, that's the future of Rotary. I talk to everybody about Rotary. I'm a Rotarian and I'm proud. You got to do that.
Oh, absolutely. That's extremely important. One of the things that, and this is a transition point here, that we've been talking about is struggling clubs. Our next meeting that's coming up, we're actually going to talk about how to turn those struggling clubs to a successful club through some proven strategies. So please, for the folks who are on tonight and also in the future, please come to that particular meeting. Do we have any other questions or comments? Well, first I want to thank our guests for, oh man, an exciting meeting. The energy level here was just off the roof here. And I hope that our members in the audience take heed to some of the things that we talked about and use those things to improve their membership. And I also want to thank Alex for doing all the work behind the scenes. That's a lot of work to manage this type of webinar. So I want to thank you for this. Any closing remarks?
I have one real quick because Liz, children are like their mom. Liz, listen, I heard this too from Zone. Get with your Interact, get with Rotaract clubs. If you have night meetings, have them offer babysitting services. Tell your members to bring their children. I bring my child to not lunch meetings, but I bring Hardy to everything. So that's kind of how you can get your children to join. Look for babysitting. That's how you engage in new members too, is hey, you know what? Come to our meeting. There's babysitting services offered and margaritas. So what better? Why wouldn't a parent come?
Okay.
Well,
Christy,
well, I don't know that that's her question, but yeah, if you are going to invite
Ask her
kids to come to
something.
meetings and stuff, it's a great way maybe to get your interactors engaged, because you get them involved in doing the babysitting or the watching the children, whatever we want to call it. Get the interactors or get some other Rotarians who that's their thing. Instead of going to that meeting, then they can help that way.
I saw Joe's hand, and after Joe speaks, I'm closing this meeting off. Okay.
I was just going to say, I have 4 or 5 members, and I think they've all joined within the last 6 months that are former Rotaract. Some of them did youth exchange, and now they're creating their own little subgroup, and they want to just be part of Rotary. And my next president, they're going to have to figure out how we become way more involved in it, because that's what they want, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, fantastic. Again, I want to thank everyone for participating as panelists and sharing with us your success stories. And I also want to thank everyone who was a part of the audience and for your comments and questions. Remember, next month, we're going to talk about struggling clubs and strategies for addressing their needs.
Lloyd, can I make a request before we end?
Yes.
I would encourage everybody to go to the Zone website and look at our future topics. We have the entire year pre-planned. If you feel that you're an expert on that topic, or you know somebody who is, have them contact Lloyd Campbell. Isn't your email up there? If not, we'll put it up there.
You'll put it up there, yes.
Lloyd's also going to be in charge of the webinars for next year too. So look at those topics. If you have an expert or you're an expert, contact Lloyd. Because just so you know, our desire is to have Rotarians as our panelists. We don't want PDGs, even though we let Christy come on this time, but and we don't want zone people. But Christy's a DMC, so she counts. You got that one. But our desire is to have district level, club level panelists and speakers, because that's who our audience is. Our audience are club members. And so if you're an expert on a subject, let us know, and you can be a panelist and get all the glory and the high pay just like we do. Not.
But we always love Sarah being here too now.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thanks again for being a part of this, and we'll see you next month. Thanks.